start with an opening statement from Coach.
First of all, got to give UCLA and their coaching staff a ton of credit. Got to give their quarterback a ton of credit. We obviously had a hard time stopping him all night long, or all day long. But I think the opening sequence of the game was significant with the touchdown and then the surprise onside that we talked about all week long, that they were going to take significant risks in this game, and that was obviously two really significant drive and play in the game. So from that point on, we were battling. Obviously went in at halftime in a challenging situation, came out and battled in the second half, but not enough to win the game. So give UCLA credit, give their quarterback a ton of credit, and we made mistakes today that we normally don't make. Had a ton of missed assignments, turnovers at critical times, penalties at critical times, things that we really don't do and have not done for a very long time. So give UCLA credit.
Raise your hand if you're interested in a question. We're going to start with Bob and then go to Rich.
James, you talked about the quarterback who really maybe was the biggest difference in the game today. You knew he was a good athlete. You talked about it before the game. In your mind, why was it so hard to keep him, especially with his legs, from hurting your defense? I know you lost Rojas, but where do you think was maybe the biggest issue for you defensively trying to contain him?
Yeah, he had 153 yards, and a lot of those yards came at critical points. A couple times we spied him, and when we spied him, he was able to either make the spy miss or run away from the spy. To your point, obviously, we lost a significant player for us last week, who normally that would be his responsibility. But at the end of the day, we spied and he ran away from the spy. We spied, he made the spy miss. And a couple other times they caught us in man coverage without a spy. And we got out of our rush lanes and he made a ton of plays.
Rich in the mark.
James, why do you think or don't think your team was ready, mentally focused after the loss last week? Because the first half obviously was a complete disaster.
Yeah, obviously we did not handle last week's loss well. We also lost some players in that game during the week, and then everything else, the travel, everything else. Did not come out with the right energy to start the game, and before you know it, obviously they get a touchdown drive and an onside kick, and now you're fighting. They gain confidence, and we're fighting for the next three quarters. So that's my responsibility, and I didn't get it done.
Mark and then Greg.
When you look at their numbers, red zone, third down before the last couple series, was the effort what you needed to up to your standard from your defense today?
Yeah, especially when you talk about the first half, third down was not very good. We could not get off the field. Again, they did a really good job of staying on schedule. In the second half, when we were able to get them off schedule a few times, that's when Nico really hurt us a few times. But I didn't feel like watching the game it was an effort thing, but I did think we made a bunch of mistakes based on what I saw and what I heard on the headsets.
Greg Van Dana.
Coach, can you walk us through the talk on the headset for that last 4th and 2 play, why you guys thought that was the one to go with in that situation?
Yeah, obviously as a QB power read where we had an opportunity to get the ball on the edge, divide the defense, get the quarterback downhill based on the read. And they brought edge pressure, which we knew it was coming. And they beat the block, and we weren't able to get around it. They beat the block, got penetration. The read gave us the give read. And they had two guys right at the point of attack for not only the ball carrier, which would have been Pena, but also Drew. So give them credit for the aggressive cover zero call, but we also got to make sure that we're making the blocks at the point of the attack.
Daniel, then Todd.
James, you talked about not handling the loss last week well. How do you make sure that the team is able to handle this one well? And we talked about not letting one turn to two, not letting two turn to three now.
Yep, that's exactly right. We got to tune out all the outside noise. I thought our guys worked hard at doing that last week, but obviously not well enough. Not well enough. So, we got to stick together. The coaches, the players in the locker room, offense, defense, and special teams. The reality is we didn't play well enough in all three phases to win the game. And there's going to be a lot out there to divide, and we got to tune all that out and stick together. So I think we'll do that. Not going to be easy, but I think we'll do that.
Todd.
Coach, I know you just talked generally about sticking together. I'm curious about halftime. The guys were, the offense hardly any possessions at that point. Was the offense talking to the defense? What was the general move when you were down that much with the veteran squad and all the veterans?
Yeah, we've been in this situation before, so I thought the locker room was good. Obviously, there was some emotion and there was some energy and there was adjustments being made. We were in a similar situation last year at USC. That was part of the discussion. And I thought we came out and gave us a chance to win the game in the second half, but not enough, obviously, to win the game. And obviously their quarterback was, in a lot of ways, was the difference in the game in multiple scenarios and multiple situations.
Last question to Woggy.
James, in the 7, you said you thought you had the best combination of talent and coaching. You still believe that now?
Yeah, obviously that question at this moment, how am I supposed to answer that? When we lose the last two games, then obviously, that's all that matters. We didn't win the last two games. But yeah, obviously I felt that way or I wouldn't have said it. But after two losses, it's hard for me to answer that question and say that that's the case.
Thank you, Coach. We'll have players in the tunnel over near our locker room.